Vision says, as I look ahead 2 to 3 years down the road, I do see God doing it, even though I may not know all the details today. Vision is not a crystal ball or hearing audible voices. It's the belief in one's heart that God is going to do something that is consistent with His Word, consistent with His will, and consistent with His character. It's believing that what God is going to do will have an amazing impact on your life. So I ask you, who determines your vision? The naysayers around you, or the God who is able to do exceedingly more than all you can ask or imagine? William Booth, founder of the Salvation Army, tells us his secret. God has had all that there was of me. There have been men with greater brains than I, even with greater opportunities. But from the day I got the poor of London on my heart and caught a vision of what Jesus Christ could do with me and them, on that day I made up my mind that God should have all of William Booth that there was. And if there's anything of power in the Salvation Army, it's because God has had all the adoration of my heart, all the power of my will, and all the influence of my life. One of the greatest tragedies for people is to live in darkness when they could live in the light. Rose Crawford had been blind for 50 years before she had an operation that gave her sight. She exclaimed, "I just can't believe it," as the doctor lifted the bandages from her eyes. She wept when for the first time in her life, her eyes were opened to a world so dazzling and beautiful. The amazing thing about her story, however, was that 20 years of blindness was unnecessary. She didn't know that surgical techniques had been developed and that an operation could have restored her vision at the age of 30. Did you know that one of the most popular aquarium fish is the shark? Sharks are fascinating. If you catch a small one and confine it, it will stay a size proportionate to the aquarium you put it in. Sharks can be 6 inches long and yet fully matured. But if you turn them loose in the ocean, they grow to their normal length of 8 feet. Sadly, that's what happens to some Christians. I've seen some of the cutest little 6-inch Christians who swim around in a little puddle and are content there. They have no idea how great they would become if they didn't confine themselves to the limits others placed on them. May God help us not to be confined to a little puddle out of insecurity, but instead to realize that Jesus Christ is Lord of all. Nothing is too difficult for Him. Viktor Frankl survived the death camps of Nazi Germany. He also made a startling discovery about why some survived the horrible conditions while others did not. He looked at several factors: health, vitality, family structure, intelligence, and survival skills. Yet he finally concluded that none of these factors was primarily responsible. The single most significant factor was a sense of future vision. The impelling conviction of those who were able to survive was that they had a mission to perform, some important work left to do. Your life and mission are waiting. Walk with Him and walk with purpose.